Today, we are going to make some grass. No, I'm not in Colorado, so it's not going to be that kind of grass. It's our techniques that are so simple and sensible, your mowers will practically build themselves. Top of the morning to you folks, it's Mad Dog Merv, and here we are. I'm still in my Yeti to party, but it's green. It's green because it's March, and one of my favorite holidays, not my most favorite, but one of my favorite, is coming up here, and that would be St. Patty's Day. And, well, I need something green for it. I've been working on the layout a lot because it started to warm up just a little bit, but enough that I still need to have a sweater on. So we are going to look at today, we're going to look at the updates that I've done to my St. Patrick's Day train. There's a couple of little updates that I did. If you remember the show from last year, the St. Patrick's Day train that I ran on the old board that I had in the house. Well, we've made a couple of upgrades to the train itself, and we'll go over that. And we'll go over the upgrades that I have made to the layout, because there is a lot that has changed in just the last couple of months. So stick with us, folks, and Mad Dog Merv's going to look at the St. Patrick's Day terrain. So just to review from last year, I took this Tyco. It was like a bicentennial engine that was just really trashed. Fixed it up, got the motor running well, and went ahead and painted it with this green Imron that I'd painted my 72 Ford truck with, and decided to call it Luck of the Irish. And so here it is, all finished. This is going to be our mode of power, at least to start with. We'll get into that here in a minute. We ran this train last year, and it actually did pretty good last year. So this is what we're going to have up front in the consist. I wanted some green LEDs, and I went to the dollar store, and they had these green LEDs on for $1. They take 2 batteries, and there's like 10 LEDs in this string. It's designed to be like a necklace, but it works perfect for so many other things, and we'll cover that here in a moment. So the first thing I did is I took a flatbed that I had, went ahead and put the battery pack on that, hooked up the lights to make sure they were going to work. So I put 2 lights on this particular car here. Now, last year I did some other things with it. I could never find the pot that I wanted for a pot of gold. So again, went to the dollar store this year. I put some sides on my train. I found these gold and green little mini coins in a necklace, and decided to fill it with that. And these larger coins that I put on the outside of it. So that's kind of how my pot of gold looks this year. Green I painted on this was like a life color Marine Corps uniform green. I use it for my World War II figures, and thought I'd try it out on here. The next car is this coal car that I had to put some wheels on and whatnot. I decided to go ahead and completely paint this thing. So I took this, I think it's a CP green from Floquil that I had left over, and I painted the whole car with that. And then the top, the coal, if you will, I painted that with Tamiya's gold and gave it a nice black wash. Again, all of this gold coming along in this train, but you can see how I rigged the LEDs on the underside. There's 2 LED lights that are rigged on the underside. And trying to make it look like hoses from car to car. There's how the lines go. And I tried to paint those black as much as possible. You can see on the tank car, which is the third in the consist. And here we have actually 2 lights per side, so 4 lights on this particular car here. This is painted with the Imron that I painted the engine with as well. Wanted a few cars that looked that way, nice and shiny and pretty. Same with the caboose. It's painted with the Imron. It has an LED inside of it, and then it has one up top where the smokestack should be, and that has a big green shamrock on it. So green and gold for the colors on the caboose. So that's what we had last year, and this is this year's consist as well. So let's watch it run for a minute. So I recently replaced a bunch of the track on the shelf layout that's in the doghouse. Remember from last year that this ran on the train table that I had. You'll notice it's very jittery, that it stops and starts a lot. Notice the sparks there. It's just not a smooth running engine anymore, and I've cleaned it. I cleaned the wheels. I did everything I could to make this thing run right, and it's just not cutting it anymore. You know, these old Tyco engines, trying to get it to run slow like this is almost impossible. They just zoom at 1,000,000 miles an hour because, well, that's kind of how they are. So here I've decided to go ahead and go a different route. I'm going to retire that old Tyco engine. And I've got this, it's a Pennsylvania Railroad A and B unit. They're both powered. I can't remember the company that made these, but very high quality. They run very smooth and very quiet, and they've got plenty of power. So I'm going to go ahead and change out one of the couplers on the consist. We're going to hook this up, and this is going to be my new green engine. And here we go. See, nice slow speed, smooth running. Yep, this is going to be my new power plant for the St. Patrick's Day train. Unfortunately, the caboose still has some problems from time to time derailing. So here you go, it's bobbing along. And here's a good look, nose on, of the new consist. Yep, I think this is going to be a keeper. So you'll notice there's been some changes on the layout. Both ends of the layout, we discussed some changes that I was doing last month. Well, this month there's been a lot more. And hey, with springtime coming up, I made some springtime trees. Haha! And here they are on the layout. I can change them out from fall to spring to summer. And here are my spring trees on the lining the road. I have them in a couple of different places, but got it in such a way I can just take them out and use the fall trees when it's fall time. So I like the little pink blossoms on them. I'd like to put more on them, but again, this is my first time doing springtime trees, and here's this part of the layout. So I built a tunnel, and we are going to talk about this mountain and tunnel in a whole different video. But I built this mountain and tunnel, stuck it here in the corner, put a little mine in it that you can see dead center in the middle there. Here's kind of how things are with the lights on in the doghouse, the LEDs that I have and the black lights, and kind of they change color and give you kind of a different feel in there. Here is the consist headed towards the tunnel. Now I have this green light, the same set of green lights. Have another one of those dollar store that is lighting up the inside of my mountain. So the inside of the tunnel is lit, and the inside of the little mine is lit. All I have to do is flip a switch, and again, we'll cover this in the tunnel build here in a while. But kind of neat. It's going to be neat for Halloween, and it also is very appropriate for St. Patrick's Day. So there you go with the train entering the glowing tunnel. So speaking of glowing, you saw the piece recently I did on the Munster house that I built. Here it is with its glowing green lights inside. Again, Halloween, this is going to be a lot of fun, I think. So looks pretty good there on the layout. And again, this is with my low light LEDs in the doghouse. So speaking of the tunnel, I built this little mine up a ways there on the mountain, and I have the track coming out. There's going to be a little ore car on there, but I put one of the LEDs inside of there. So you've got this glowing green, you know, like the aliens. You got the old mine tunnel, and they're in there doing experiments or whatever. I just thought it would be a lot of fun. Here it is with kind of a nighttime filter on the LEDs, that kind of a blue light, and it really stands out. This is kind of a fun feature, I think, on this particular layout. And I got to tell you, when I was building this thing, I didn't think it was going to turn out very good, but when it was all said and done, I really like how this turned out. So I added this part here in the front. You can see this kind of an add-on piece. Also, I took some rock face and put it on the other side there of the tunnel, and I have this sluice box coming down, draining out of the mine, and causing the water for the pond. And you can see here is that pond piece. Remember the pond that I built for the train table last year? Well, here it is, and it fits in really nice with this whole scheme of things here. Gonna have to do some trimming on it. And remember that we did that pumpkin patch back in November? Well, I've got a new place to put it, and it's going to be a fun place. And that is right next to the mansion. You can kind of see it there, not real well, but it's kind of the garden for that farmhouse there. So kind of a fun fit right in there. Well, here's the train layout for this month. Hope you enjoyed this video, and join us again next month. We're going to go over some new changes that we'll do next month. Thanks for joining us, folks.